And then last but not least, I'm going to talk about good social media, which I'm probably going to start on, which is actually just how to create good, solid content, but actually get impact from it. So I'm going to take another loud sip. Sorry, Julie. See, now I'm going to be conscious of it, but I still appreciate the heads up. It's just one of those ways to get better. So, I've also noticed, I don't know why I underline every heading. Every time I write on the board, I seem to underline it. I think it's a character trait of mine. So most people understand the benefits of social media in terms of what is it. Most of us are on the platforms. Like this stream is predominantly on LinkedIn, but it goes on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and a few others as well. But people kind of get that. There's still some important things to do to how to do it well. Does that make sense? And it's not difficult, it's not complicated. And actually, taking Simon's point, consistency is one of them. But the first thing that you want to do is know what your goal is. If you have a business, so it could be Julie, it could be mine, it could be Simon's, it could be whichever. What is it you're actually trying to achieve? Because actually, if you don't know what you're trying to achieve, it's very difficult to then create content around it. But that's one of the most important things, is we talk about in the course, you want to be seen as something called an authority or an expert on a topic. So if you are a chef and you're passionate about cooking, the more you talk about food, ingredients, spices, but actually demonstrate your passion about that topic, it will really go a long way to making people think that you are an authority or an expert on that topic. And the reason why that's really important is that people trust people that they see as authority figures. So if you're seen as someone that is very knowledgeable on a topic, people trust you more. But what's interesting is that people actually trust authority figures even if it's not their area of expertise. So actually, for instance, if I remember, so Jurgen Klopp is the manager of Liverpool Football Club. He obviously knows a lot about football and managing football teams. But I remember he was asked what did he think of the UK general election, and people genuinely want and admire and take advice from people that they see as an authority or an expert. So what you really want to do is build your knowledge and your demonstration of knowledge on a topic. So I'm going to switch to green. A prime example could be, hopefully when I do these and I talk about stuff, it shows that I've kind of done my homework and kind of researched it. But it could even be live streaming or whichever. But really kind of know what your goal is and actually be seen as an authority or an expert on the topic. The next is that if you know what your goal is, which could be to attract new customers, or it could be just to build a network or gain followers, it's know what is relevant to your audience. Prime example being, people might have a hobby on cycling, or it could be needlework or whichever. But if on your main business platform, when you're trying to drive sales for your marketing business, you only ever talk about needlework and cycling, or just non-relevant stuff that your audience is really interested in, it's very difficult to actually then build the connection and achieve your goal. What you will do is build brand value and what people think about you if they resonate with what you talk about. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but actually you want to make sure that it's relevant to your audience, but also the goal that you do. One of my pet peeves with this is that you saw it quite recently. People would post, what's your favorite McDonald's flavor, or just random kind of crappy stuff, which is fine. And it will get interaction. It will get comments and likes and whatever, but it's not branding. It's not actually building towards your goal. And it's that crucial mistake that people often chase likes and views and follows when actually you want quality, if that makes sense. And it's almost, so don't just post about anything, or you get people that do random polls on stuff. Always try and keep it kind of relevant to what you want to do. You want to be consistent, which is to make Simon's point. Because one of the points on that is that you might actually write, there you go, thanks Simon. I see you posted about the global interview. So you actually still want to be relevant to your audience, but if you spend a lot of time to actually kind of, write your post once, and you only do once every 6 months, what you're not doing is building weight or momentum with your audience that you kind of get on people's radar. So it's wonderful actually that Simon did say, I'm being consistent, I do this every week, but that's on purpose, and it's almost just trying to show up that if I did 1 or 2, and actually because live streaming is quite difficult, there's lots of people that started this before me, but they stopped quite quick because it's difficult to come up with the content every week, and actually just being consistent is really good. But actually what I'm now going to do, so this is some of the stuff, where is my other notes? There we go. But one thing that's also really important is that with a business or with any kind of promotional kind of stuff, there's a famous study by 2 guys called Burnett and Field, and basically what it was, they looked at what is the best balance of brand building marketing to help achieve your goal. And what they found that you want to spend 40% of your time on a call to action in terms of a direct sales approach. And this is any form of activity to try and drive sales for your business. You want to spend 40% of your time on that, and actually 60% of your time on general brand building. Who are you? What are you passionate about? Things that you're interested in. But this is also true when you do your own kind of social media. So it's really important to get people to get across your mannerisms and who you are and what you're about and what you're passionate about, and to get people to know you, to build that kind of rapport and connection, which is all the 60% kind of brand building. But actually at some point you still need to sell something. So when actually you do your 40% short-term kind of sales activation, and that could be get people to sign up to global interviews, so that's a primary example. It could be to get someone to join your course or your thing next week or whichever. The one thing that you want to do with this you want something called a call to action. And basically this is at the bottom of your website or the bottom of the post. So one topic could be on, I interviewed a lady called Amy Sergeson from Muckle LLP recently, and it was all about the EU settlement scheme and how that can impact employers and stuff. When I interviewed her, we clipped it up and we created a video. And the video in some ways was to help demonstrate Amy as an authority and an expert on a topic, which helps her brand. But actually they've got an event, I think it's on the 8th of June, which they want people to sign up for, because it'll genuinely help them. But actually, it's part of their business process. So with those posts, you always need to include the call to action, or as Simon has done in the chat, give people the actual link, give them the next step to do. And actually within your social media, if you can demonstrate you're an authority or an expert on a topic, that you're likable and you know who you are in your kind of your greater brand building, that it's relevant to your audience is a big one. You have to be consistent, so you'll hopefully see me unless something drastic happens this time next week and the week after and the week after. And likewise, the call to action, that if it's relevant, always make sure to throw it in. These are kind of the main key building blocks to good social media, but actually it's good marketing, it's good stuff to help you achieve your goal. And again, that's the one thing you really want to understand what it is you're trying to do. Most people fall down on a few of these because actually, even if the stuff you posted wasn't the best, because the other thing as well, on the authority and expert, you want to tell people what you think. So, it's no good just, you could take a Harvard Business Review article, copy it, put it in your feed, click paste and send. And that's fine, and it'll show that you're related to a topic. But the way to demonstrate authority and expertise, and actually what makes you unique, which is something we cover in the course, is what do you think about it? What is it relevant? Is it relevant to SMEs? Is it relevant to the sector that you're in? And it's all these things add up and add real weight to basically help you achieve whatever it is you want to do. And most people fall down on a few, and just being consistent, just showing up. Even if you did post below average posts, but you did it quite often, not too often that it would annoy people, it'll still have a much better impact than doing one really good quality post once every 6 months.